Well, hello there. It's me, your boy Bangs. No, it's me, John, Carnosaur. If you didn't get that reference, it's your boy Bangs. Go onto YouTube and type in Bangs. I want to take you to the movies. A short-lived rapping career had Bangs, but the peaks were high. And it's a bit of a travesty that he is not remembered. He's still alive, he's just not rapping anymore. I don't think he is anyway. But it's a shame he's not seen in the same esteem as, say, a Kendrick Lamar or a Snoop Doggy Dogg. Anyway, kicking off and I'm already rambling absolute bullshit. This one is completely off the cuff. I had no intentions of recording a podcast. I think it's been a while, 2 weeks possibly. But I'm currently walking to the bank. Why am I walking on a car podcast? And why am I walking to the bank? Well, one, I was going to go on my way home from work. Got to the car park, and then I realised I didn't have my wallet with me. So that was annoying. It's been one of them days. So, you know, I would usually do a small amount of exercise after work. So I have to go to the bank. Instead of teaming up with a walk, I'm going to the Permanent TSB branch, or PTSB as they're now officially rebranded to. The nearest branch is in, well, actually no, the nearest branch will be in Tala, but the branch I'm going to is in Rathfarnham. Nothing against Tala. I'm born and raised in the Dublin of 24. It's just the journey to the one in Rathfarnham is nicer. I get, for the first half there's a lovely green lane, which I'm on now. And then in the second half there's a big park to walk through, Bushy Park, if you're familiar with it. Bushy Park, which has a kind of an iconic sign on the outside part near the main road. It's been there my whole life. But I'm going to say it was put up in it was either the late 80s or early 90s. Could even be the early 80s. It's still there anyway, and it's a, fasten your seatbelts sign. You may have seen it on Instagram. I think I may have posted it on Instagram once. It's cool. It's one of those things that if for whatever you like, they could widen the road there to put in a cycle lane or something, and there's room to do it, but they would have to move the sign. Well, I'm not sure there is room to do it because there's lots of trees there, and I'd say there'd be a bit of uproar if they try to cut down the trees. But anyway, going off topic, if for some reason they were to take the sign, and I knew publicly they were to take the sign down, I would be rushing forward to ask if I could have said sign, because that's it's the 49 bus route, which is the local bus to my family home. So that would be the bus that we used to take in and out of town, and I still do take in and out of town on a regular basis. So I've gone by that sign for well over 30 years. So yeah, strange piece of sentimental value to a road sign, which is a bit, it's a fasten your seatbelt sign. You should fasten your seatbelt, but it's not like cool. It's not like, hey man, red, go drifting, if that's what the kids say these days. So yeah, absolute rambling. So this, I don't know. One good thing about this is that, well, I'm nothing prepared, which is no shock to anybody, but I don't have any Formula 1 to talk about, which for the last couple of podcasts has kind of dominated the entire length of the podcasts, because so much has been going on in F1. It's been a crazy season, so I'm going to take a swig of water. Taking a swig of water because it's very warm, and it's also now, all of a sudden, very sunny. I didn't bring any sun protection. There's a pharmacy on the way. I might have to get some. The thing is, there is clouds around that will probably steal the sun again, because it's been pretty much a cloudy day all day. Warm but cloudy, but now all of a sudden it's fucking sun is splitting the sky, and as I said, I don't have sun protection. Going completely off topic, what was I talking about? Sentimental value to signs. Formula 1. Yeah, there's been a lot going on, so they're on their summer break now, so there isn't really anything to go on. So I won't talk about, well, there's a couple of small things about Formula 1, but I'll say them for the end, because I won't bore people who don't care about F1. That's if anybody's listening, which I'm sure they aren't. This might actually be, this type of podcast, one, not talking about Formula 1, and two, having zero preparation, might be a better suit, even though I haven't said anything yet. Did I mention anything about cars? Oh, your boy Bangs, just to bring it full circle, when I'm already How many minutes in am I? Am I even recording? I am. I'm 5 minutes in. So your boy Bangs, his smash hit, I Want to Take You to the Movies. After that, soared to the top of the charts. Honda gave him a bit of a contract to do some advertising for them, and he did an ad, which again you'll find on YouTube, for Honda. It might have been a Super Bowl ad, but do not quote me on that. Anyway, where will we start with the cars and stuff? I think I've rambled on about other nonsense enough now already. I genuinely did something interesting with cars for a change. I went to the Pistonheads annual service in the beautiful surroundings of Bicester Heritage, which I've been to once before for one of their Sunday scrambles. That was excellent. It was hard to judge what the Pistonheads one would be. Now, obviously, it was going to be big. It's their annual service. Pistonheads has a very large and loyal following. But it's like, you know, Pistonheads and Bicester, they kind of have a different feel. Maybe I'm wrong in that sense. Like, I'm an ab. I've read Pistonheads for years. It's a great source of entertainment, be it for good and bad. Excuse me, burping. Not long after lunch. Again, nothing unusual for this podcast. So the annual service. So I flew into Birmingham Airport, booked the travel lodge because I flew at I wasn't in work Friday, but I'll get to that in a moment. Flew into Birmingham Airport and I got a late enough flight. I landed about half 8 in the evening. So it's like, I'm landing pretty late. I'll just get my rental car, stay in a hotel, and I'll blast down to the Pistonhead show was on Saturday morning. Started at 9 o'clock. It's like Birmingham Airport to Bicester is like an hour. No problem. So got my rental car from Alamo. I always found Alamo very good. I think of all of them, they're not as prestigious as a Enterprise or a Sixt or a Hertz. But I think I've used all of the big names and a couple of shady ones as well for rental cars. And Alamo have never been anything but perfect. They're hassle free. Their staff are lovely. They're just a pleasure to deal with. To the point now, at this point, like most of the time, I'm not brand loyal really to anything for the most part. I kind of just let price dictate. I wouldn't say I'll exclusively use Alamo because again, price can be a big factor when it comes to rental cars, but I will check them first, which I think says a lot, because when you're booking shit now, you can just go find me the best deal on the internet and it'll spew out. Although obviously some of them are sponsored and paid for, but anyway, I'm getting off topic again. So I booked a Toyota Aygo or similar, and I got a Toyota Aygo. I'm a big fan of the Toyota Aygo. I like the simplicity of it. It's a perfect city car. Also very closely related to the C2 and the 107. 107 or 1007? No, 107, isn't it? Yeah, 107. So it's the newest generation of Aygo. I don't know if there is a same generation C2 and 107. I'd like to be proven wrong if there is. But certainly the previous generation or the first generation. I think there's been 2 now since then. Rambling again. Great. It's dark grey. It had aircon, or Android Auto and CarPlay, obviously. And like now, I think it's a 0.9 litre triple. So a 5-speed gearbox. So in fifth, doing 70 miles per hour of the King's motorway. Excuse me. It's doing about 3,500 RPM ish, give or take 3. And so it's MVH is not its strong point. It's a low cost car. I just love it, like single wiper, one dangly thing for the parcel shelf in the back. Comfortable. Like I had plenty of, and I know no one would have got in behind me, but I had plenty of room as a driver, which isn't not a given in a lot of vehicles. A lot of vehicles bigger than an Igo. But anyway, like it's pretty much a motorway blast there and back to the Birmingham airport. But sitting 75 miles an hour on the motorway, no matter what, like it would not go below 55 mpg on the trip and the car now, obviously. So pinch of salt in that factor. But let's be super conservative here and say we'll adjust that to 50, which I know isn't like mind-blowing mpg, but considering I was midway through the rev band on a motorway, which is not its happy hunting ground, to return 50 mpg, I think it's pretty decent. I'd say if you're pottering around town, never breaching like 2000 RPM, 2200, I'd say you'd easily get 70 or 80 mpg out of that thing. And it's fun. Steering nicely weighted for an electric rack, but obviously zero feel. Quite jiggly ride as well. And I said MVH is pretty high. But again, if you were just to knock around the city, although our city's roads are terrible, both here and in the UK, so the jiggly ride could possibly get annoying. But I love it. It's charming. It's something that others would say, and look, I'm not disagreeing necessarily, but people would say is a white good. Sometimes white goods have charm in themselves by their tenacity and their utilitarian nature. So, like, a Land Rover Discovery is a white good, but look at the cult following that thing has now. You know what I mean? Anyway, come at me, Land Rover bros. I'll take another swig of water. I might have a bit of cotton mouth. Where was I? Yeah, so the Igo. Now, I probably should have paused for that, but anyway. So yeah, I booked what I should have done. I didn't think this ahead because I booked my travel lodge, which is again just a stone's throw from the airport. I didn't check before booking the travel lodge that I didn't have parking. Well, not free parking anyway. So realistically, what I should have done is just flown in, stayed in the travel lodge, and then picked up the rental car the next morning from the airport. One that probably was, I don't know if it would have saved me much money. Hang on, I'm going to pause now. I need to close up my bag. Just a quick pause. One moment. And I'm back. But anyway, that was what it was. Got into the travel lodge about 9. Now, there's a car park there. That technically, the one outside is a short-term car park for just drop off. And then there's one. It's an airport car park, but it's directly in front of the travel lodge. I looked at the prices for that, and anything over, there was 2, 4, 6, 8 hours, and then anything over 8 hours was a full day. So mine would have been there for more than 8 hours. Would have been there for about 10, maybe. That £56. I was like, fucking hell. And I pulled into the set down one about 9 o'clock, walked in, lovely girl at the reception desk in Travel Lodge, Birmingham Airport. Wherever you are, if you're listening, which you're definitely not, I cannot remember your name, again with an A, shame on me, but lovely girl. I was like, what's the crack with parking? He's like, yeah, out there. I was like, yeah, she's like, what time are you checking out at? I was like, I'm checking out at 8. He's like, alright, you know what, leave it there. And she just gave me this little piece of paper with a QR code on it. Like, scan that when you're going out, it'll knock it down to £26. Still a lot of money to park the car, but definitely a lot less manageable than 50, whatever it was, £56 or something. Anyway, sorry, bicycle coming by me. Really should be on the road. There's even a cycle lane. I do them all. I cycle, I walk, I drive. And I don't think that there is no obligation for cyclists to use cycle lanes, but don't cycle on the footpath. The footpath cycling is the one that aggravates me the most. Anyway, where was I? So Travel Lodge, again, I was only there to rest my head before going down. Had a pint of Guinness in the Travel Lodge. Sorry, burping again. Which cost me £6.20, which, one, shocker, it wasn't a very nice pint of Guinness, and two, £6.20 I think converts to €7.40, which it wouldn't be alarming to get a pint of Guinness in town for €7.40, not even slightly. But one, it would be a good pint of Guinness, and two, it's Dublin city centre. This is a shitty airport for people to have sex in, by the airport. £6.20 is rich. Anyway, they serve pizza till 4 a.m. in the Travelodge in Birmingham Airport. But I did have a burrito in the airport before I left. I was like, fuck it, I'll survive till the morning, don't need any food. Went up, watched Heat, the last third of Heat on channel wherever it was. Although, what did I flick by? Oh, Point Break was on one of the other stations, but it had just started. And I was like, if I start watching this movie, I'm going to watch the whole thing. And it was a terrestrial television station like ITV2 or whatever. It's going to have ad breaks as well, I'd assume. So I'm looking at 2 hours, and I was trying to get to bed within the next half an hour. Anyway, Point Break was on. So I'll come full circle to that in a moment. So yeah, checked out of the fucking Travelodge Birmingham. Blast down the motorway, get to Bicester. There's a few interesting things passing me by on the way down. I was like, these are obviously going to Bicester. A Caterham, an Alpine, I think. What else passed me by? I went by an old, I think it was a Buick, some 1950s fin-tailed red and white thing. Not my forte. I appreciate them, just don't know anything about them. Something else passed me by. I can't remember what it was now. Something quite interesting. It was up on my Instagram anyway, so you would have seen it probably. So yeah, pull in, and think, when you get to these places, it was the same thing with the Scramble, and no one surprised me, it was the same thing with the Pistonheads annual service. The car parking itself, so I parked up the Igo, and it's just, I must have spent the first hour I was there just walking around the car park. Ridiculous things. This isn't even as ridiculous as it got, but anyone who knows me, I love an E39, especially the M5, obviously. There's just 2 parked beside each other. And then there was 3 more in the car park that I saw. Might have been more. And so, I think it was a Citroen 8, or was it a Visa GTI? I think it was a Visa GTI. Parked next to a Cullen. You mean shit like that? And it's just scattering things. Look, I put all the pictures up. I didn't post them directly on Instagram. I put 1 or 2 up on Instagram, but the rest of them are up on my Flickr. If you go into my story on my page, go into my highlights, the most recent highlights that I have, 13 or 14, whereas most recent one, click into there, you'll see there's a post not so long, a couple of days ago, with a link to my Flickr. I'd probably put that in my bio or something. I took 180 photos, so, which is again only a fraction of the stuff that was there, because you can spend the whole day just going around snapping cars, where you go to these shows, same with an art gallery, you can take some photos, but also take in what's around you while you're there. It's so easy to take a photo as well. I saw 180, I was like, fucking hell, I didn't realise I took that many photos, because I didn't think I was being snap happy. But anyway, there you go. Where was I? So yeah, this shit that's in there. Sorry, I'm on a busy road here. Hopefully it won't disturb us too much. But yeah, the car parking itself, just ridiculous shit. Ferrari 360s. There was one of those Lamborghini Huracan Storados, which is cool to see. Aggressive tire screeching. I don't know what's going on. Mayhem on the roads, Ted. And then you go in, so again, there's a hangar, there's kind of an entrance, there's a hangar on the left hand side. Piston has a stage up on the, left, and then stage on the right hand side. Again, just a plethora of random stuff, like a B10 Alpina Estate, E34 generation. Kind of there was some sort of, I go up and look at the pictures. There was some sort of, I don't know exactly what it was. It was some sort of 1960s, 70s maybe sports car. It might have been a Lola. It had a big block American V8 in the back, so I'm not 100% sure what it was. There was some sort of Ultima thing, similar kind of remit, but more modern, something from the early 2000s with an Audi RS4 engine in the back, which was kind of the thing to do then. Look at Gumpert, etc. But had lovely fucking exhaust manifolds on it. And then there, like that, Johnny Smith was there with his fucking The Late Break Show. He did one of the podcasts near the end. We'll get to that in a moment. He was there with it's just a merch stand. He called it a stand. It was a fucking gazebo. But what he had there, which he went on to talk about on the podcast later on, I'll get to that in a minute, because that's a topic in itself. I bought a sticker from his stand. Lovely, some of his relations, I assume, working there with him. He was there himself as well, but he had two of his family members, I think, manning the stand, manning or womaning. They were women. Well, I'm assuming gender here. I bought one sticker. They gave me 3 and a badge, which is nice. Said hello to Johnny. Actually, no, sorry, I went into the hangar first. He was chatting to some other bloke when I was there. There was a hangar right behind him. Went into the hangar. Again, just a sea of fucking incredible shit in there. There was an Irish registered was it an Alpine? It was an E30 generation. Oh fuck, I should know these things. It wasn't an M3. I think it was an Alpine. Was in the description. It had a 2.5 straight 6. I'll have to look that up later. I should have this knowledge, but I don't. I'm sorry. And then yes, loads of other. There was a couple of Honda E's there. Mostly, someone who had like a composites business, jazzy fucking body kits on them and stuff. Grand, there was one in there, and one in the middle was like a gunmetal grey, real aggressive looking. And then look inside, and like full 3 pedal setup. There was a racing fuel tank in the back. I was just like, is there an engine in this? I couldn't see, and there was no one around to ask. I was like, did someone actually convert a Honda E to be combustion powered? Now it might have just all been completely for show, as a show car. There might be no engine in it at all. It's certainly a talking piece. It did look cool too. I was like, a combustion converted Honda E would be a cool thing. As a piece of design, it's fucking class. Now, will I get some sun protection as I walk through this village here? Sorry, loud diesel truck going by. I probably should. But is it going to... look, the UV rays come through the clouds as well, don't they? I'll get the sun protection. So yeah, I'll put it on pause here now again. What was I talking about before then? I was in the hangar, just saw the Honda E's, about to walk out of the hangar again. I'll come back to you in a moment as I pause. It'll be seamless. And I'm back again. So picked up some sun protection from the pharmacy there. Not a whole lot of options. It was basically what's left is what you got. Obviously, because I was in the UK for a large chunk of the weekend, but I do believe it was quite nice. It was nice on Sunday, that much. I was out and about, just taking in the weather, but I assume it was nice on Saturday as well. So low stock. So 15 quid on a Nivea sensitive skin 50 plus factor. I've gone to the point where I'm wearing 50 plus. I don't burn that easy. Yeah, 50 plus. I was a 30 guy for quite a while, and so I'll still lean back sometimes into a 30. Just get a base. But yeah, most of the time I've kind of knocked it up to 50 now. As long as I have some at home, I just left the house without it, so I have to pay 15 quid for a medium-sized ball. But look, I'll get the use of it. So I will. So I was leaving the hangar at Piston Heads. See, I remembered. I'm not all stupid. And when I left the hangar, Johnny was free, so I said to Johnny, "How are you? Love your work." Also, there is a first generation Boxster in there, fully open. If you need any parts for your own ghetto Boxster, and he thought that was rather funny. Said he recognised me because I have interacted with him a few times on Twitter. I'm fangirling here, like whatever. He's just a person. Lovely bloke, tall, about the same height as me, I'd say. I'm going to mention when the eye got, I'm 6 foot. I had a medical recently. They said I was 6'4", but I was wearing my shoes. So I'll be generous to say I'm 6'3". It's plenty tall enough. And Johnny's about 6'3" as well. Tall bloke. Being tall is not all it's cracked up to be. Airplanes, for example, a lot of cars, bang your head a lot, fall over more than shorter people. And statistics show shorter people live longer. So you just have that as well if you're one of those. No judgment. Don't get me wrong. If reincarnation, my old handle, reincarnation, although unsurprising because reincarnation as a handle was taken on social media, I had to go for REIN_car to highlight it's a car account _nation. But a lot of people assumed then my social handle was Ryan Carnation, which it wasn't. But I'll admit the underscores did kind of. I get it was confusing. But anyway, who cares? The account was hacked. It's gone. I'm Carnosaur now. Car_Nosaur. You can't really get that one wrong because it's a weird word that no one really understands. It is an actual dinosaur. Look it up. Again, walking by the Art Deco house, which is in full display, which is great to see. No interesting car in the drive. There's currently a Hi-Ace parked, as it looks like there's getting some sort of renovating work on the interior of said Art Deco house. Talk to Johnny Smith came out, had a look at the schedule. One of the live podcasts I wanted to see was on your man, fucking Driver 61, Scott Mansell. Scott's his first name, isn't it? Your man on YouTube, Driver 61, former racing driver, not related to Nigel Mansell, but he has a good YouTube channel, Driver 61. Started off very much motorsport and analysing motorsport stuff, but they branched out a bit now. He was saying that old adage, I think he has some videos of it already, so some of you may have already seen this, but it's the old adage of, racing cars since the late 90s essentially create so much downforce, especially Formula 1 cars, but other racing cars as well at this point as well, create so much downforce. Technically you could drive them upside down in a tunnel in theory, but he and his team want to test that theory. And they're full gung-ho about getting this done. Interesting. If they pull it off, it'll be very interesting. The plan is to try and go upside down for 5 seconds. Now it involves building a whole tunnel and everything, because it's easier said than done, although even saying it doesn't sound that easy. Anyway, he was on stage, caught a little bit of him, but I went for a wander then. And then again, look, I'm not going to go on about all the stuff that was there. Just a plethora, eclectic mix of everything and everything. It was amazing. I highly recommend going to any car event that's on in Bicester. Just keep an eye out. Keep an eye on the website, because it's one of those car meccas, and it kind of already has the cat's kind of already out of the bag with it, but it's one of those things that's only going to get more so. With more exposure. The events are just continually getting bigger, as are the crowds, and with everything eventually, I won't say it's not going to go bad, but it could get to a point of festival of speed levels of popularity and exclusivity. Prices will go up, getting in will become more difficult. It's already hard enough to get tickets to these things as well. Certainly the scrambles, I think you can still get tickets for the Piss Nez thing up until the day, but it was some crowd there. Decent weather as well. Spits of rain, but decent enough. So where was I? Yes, I wandered around and I came back then. I went around the corner where the intercooler had their setup, and they were there with Gerardo and Co. Max Gerardo and his auction knowledge. Well, he's a dealer, quote unquote, now, but famed for his auction. So we're looking for auction. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm lost for words again already. It was going so well. But anyway, they had one with called the class of 71 Ferraris. So Dino, Daytona, and 365 2+2 jobby. Also they had the 550. It's the 550 LM, isn't it? Again, I should know this stuff off the top of my head. The 550 built by ProDrive. It's got from Le Mans. Colin McRae, that jobby. Possibly the coolest car. When was that? I went to Altogether now a couple of weekends ago, and one of my car nerd friends was there with me. And while we were enjoying ourselves, let's put it that way, he came up with the question of if you could as I am now, if I could only drive one race car, what would it be? Now, and the caveat, excluding F1, obviously. One, I don't think I'd get. No, I would obviously pick a Formula 1 car. What I'm talking about. Give me the Ferrari, the F2001B, which is the one that started its 2002 season. You could say the 2002 would be the killer one because it's the one that won the championship. But it's like I love the confidence of a team as big as Ferrari, as winning as Ferrari was at the time. It's like, we don't need to rush out the new car. It's not quite ready yet. But the old one is so good, we're just going to keep using that. Admittedly, with some updates on it, but the core car was the previous year's car. Ballsy move, and it worked. McLaren did it for a whole season, and it worked out pretty well for them. They didn't win the championship, but fought pretty hard. In 2003, because the MP4... MP4... I don't want to say 13, that's too cliched, and it was definitely older than that as well. Was it the 18 or the 19? Again, this is stuff I should know. But anyway, it was one of Newey's. He really went radical on the design front. I don't think that was the only problem with it. It was a very crashy car, very blowy-uppy car. So therefore they had planned maybe to bring it in mid-season, but then they abandoned it completely, I think, before halfway. So they did the whole season, but again with a revised version of the previous year, 2002 car into 2003. If I got any of those facts wrong, I do apologise, but you get the gist of it. Where was it? Anyway, yeah. My answer to that, after plenty of thinking, would be that 550 LM. Because I just think I could go mad and go balls out and go for some sort of Le Mans prototype, something more vintage, because classic racing cars are so much cooler than modern ones because they move around and shit before aerodynamics took full hold. But I think if I could only have one with my skill level, which is low, I could eventually get to a point where I could at least pull out a lap time in the 550, and it's a Ferrari, and it's a Ferrari of my generation, and it's a V12 racing car, which is cool, and pro driver cool, and because McRae drove it, there's that. Yeah, so anyway, that was there. They also had, what else did they have? They had a 458 GTE, that's what it would have been called, wouldn't it? I think there was one other car there. Anyway, so I was there around there looking at them, and then I was like, they were doing the podcast next with Max Dorado. They were milling around. I said a quick hello to Dan Prosser. Said like the interviewer, he was like, thanks very much. And then Andrew was actually chatting to Max, so I just didn't bother with him. Then I saw them mooching back around to the stage to do their podcast. I followed around because I wanted to see that. Sit down, Max Dorado. I'm not sure, it was, I assume the interviewer will publish that. Interesting chat. He's an interesting bloke, is Max. Funny guy, charming guy. And he was spoiler alert, I'll give one of the anecdotes that he talked about. Dan Prosser asked him, if you could only have one Ferrari, what would it be? And his answer was, again, spoiler alert, a 275. Fair enough. Wouldn't be my personal choice, but I respect it. What will mine be? I don't know, we'll get back to that. And Andrew Franco, now they were up on stage. The Daytona that they'd had around on their stand was up behind them on stage. This lovely, I'm going to say Tour de France blue, but again, I'm colourblind, so don't quote me on that one. Ferrari Daytona, lovely. Had it parked up behind them. And Franco interjects then, like, so you're trying to say with one sitting right behind us, you would have the 275 over a Daytona? And Max's response to that was, well, the question Dan asked was, if I could only have one Ferrari, what would it be? Because that Daytona is now mine. The way he tells it is they had some money squirreled away that he was going to use to pay off his mortgage, but he decided to buy a Daytona instead. Take from that what you will, pinch of salt maybe, but also look, I think one, he probably got a good deal on it because he is who he is, and pretty safe money. And even if you lose 100 grand, owned a Daytona for a while, and he'll drive it as well, which is the thing. So that was cool. Good. That was an interesting podcast. Did another mill around then. Kind of more, this was like, I did my snappy snaps. This was more just walk around, take it in. Because then the last thing I wanted to see, cutting a fine would probably be strong, but my flight was 5:30, so I know you don't have to be at the airport 2 hours early. That's bullshit. But I tend to follow the rule. One, because I don't like rushing, so I have the time, I'll do it. Also, I had to drop back a rental car, so I was just like, just in case there's any delay in that sense, get there for 3:30. So I was like, Johnny Smith was on to do the podcast on stage. Scheduled at 10 to 2. They're very good with their schedule, I must say. They really stuck to it. Sorry, not 10 to 2. 10 past 1. No, it would have been 10. Yeah, no, it was 10 to 2 till 2:30, so 40 minutes. And I was like, so that'll be 10 past 2. Stroll back to the car again in case there's any delay getting out of the car park. I'll leave as soon as that's over. A little bit peckish on the way up. I was like, I'd love some food just to tide me over. Been up there, but no, there was some more refreshment vans inside in the main area. But I'd come out to the stage. I didn't want to go back in and come back out because, one, I'd missed the start of the podcast, and two, the options might not have been great. I didn't really take them in. But the options out where I was, there was either like some like pulled pork van. I'm not really into pork. No snare green on the back. Then there was a pizza place beside it. I was like, I'd have a slice of pizza, but they're only selling full pizzas. I was like, I don't want a full pizza. So, because I went full on. I paid the £11 where it was for the unlimited breakfast in the Travel Lodge, and I went unlimited with it. So I wasn't starving. I stocked up, but I was peckish. So I ended up having a 99 instead. Yeah, so late break show. So yeah, the topic for the late, I don't know, I'm not going to say it was a late break show. Johnny Smith was on stage with a guy he knew who had a genuine barn find. It wasn't a barn find that he'd done a video on, but it was a guy who'd found a barn find and he'd brought it back to life. So I don't know, maybe Piston Heads will publish it or something. Maybe it won't be published at all, but you'll hear about the car, I think, over time, because your man's only just finished it and got it back on the road. But fascinating, to say the least. A 356A, Porsche 356A Speedster, and aesthetically it's as it was when it came out of the barn. Been in a barn since, so it's an early I think it's a 54 car, and I think apparently it was only driven for 7 years and then put in the barn. I think, I can't remember where did he say it was. Was he say it was in Switzerland? I'd have to double check that. But yeah, so like as it was when it came out of the barn, they a few little patches just to cover up some holes that would have got worse. He's gone through it mechanically. It's the original engine, original box. He has replaced the interior because the seats have perished, so he's replaced the seats, which it's a bit annoying because they look too new. But the fact that the rest of the car is as it is and it's a survivor, it's a genuine barn find. Early 356. And it's running and driving. He says second needs a little look at because he's even come off throttle in second. It seems to pop out a second. Look, it's the original gearbox. The gearbox in the car and the gearbox in the engine had been taken out of the car when it was parked, but they were beside the car, so it's not like there's a new engine or it was a different engine put in. It was parked up. And partly, I think your man's story was the original owner was something about his wife saying, I can't remember what it was. There's a reason why he took the engine out. Again, hopefully, you might have already seen the stories about it. I feel it's one of those things that'll get some attention. It deserves attention. It's a cool story. It has a new roof as well, but he has the original. Cool thing, running and driving. It's some guy who's into restoring all VWs. He had to sell. I think he said he had to sell 10 of his cars, which is a lot of cars, and he still has some left. We had to sell a bunch of cars to get the cash together for this 356, which wasn't cheap, but probably cheaper than buying a pristine 356 and way cooler because of the story. Going across some cobblestones here across a river. The running water might be very loud. Lovely doggo coming across. Hello. Hopefully the sound of the water isn't too loud. Let's take in the sound of the water, because it's calming. Who doesn't love the sound of running water? It's beautiful. 3:30. Yeah, I've loads of time. The bank closes at 5. I didn't think I was that slow, and if I'd been recording for that long, this would be a very long podcast. So I'm not 45 minutes already. I'll start wrapping up. It's okay. Look, so anyway, I left fucking very interesting talk with your man with the 356. Bolted out of fucking Bicester into the IGO. Zoomed back again. Dropped back to the rental car. Filled it up. You have to top up, fill up the tank as is the norm. I think it took like £15 worth of petrol there and back, which isn't too bad. I don't know how many kilometres it was, but an hour down the motorway. You do the maths. So I went in, paid for my stuff, got a coffee. Try and refrain from drinking, because I think I alluded earlier, I had COVID the days previous. I wasn't going to go. I skipped a couple of other things that I needed to do the days previous. I tested positive for COVID on the Tuesday. This was Saturday. I was just like, all my mates said, go. There's no reason why you can't go. And like, there is no restrictions. I wore a mask on the plane. I wore a mask at the show. I wore a mask in the airport. I don't know. Judge me if you will. I understand completely. At the same time, it was all booked and paid for, and I'd already missed some stuff. I was starting to get a bit depressed. I was like, fuck it, I'm going. And I loved it. It was amazing. Apologies if that offends anyone. Anyway, so where was I going with that? What did I bring about COVID? Drop back the rental car. Trying not to that's why I was trying not to drink, because like, big weekend of that festival the previous weekend, that's where I got COVID, because everyone else was with got COVID as well. So I was trying to lay off the booze a little bit. I did have a point in the travel lodge with just the one, because the girl, the Ken was like, the bar's slow, and I was like, well, when you put it that way, I may as well. So yeah, cup of coffee, lovely sunny day. So I sat outside for about a half an hour, because I knew I'd just rush through the airport anyway, just taking in the sun. It got really nice in the late afternoon in Birmingham, which I apparently did here too. Then went in. Birmingham Airport's relatively hassle-free, and plane was late overall. They never said it was late or mentioned why, but a solid hour late getting on and taking off, which was slightly annoying, but whatever, it was fine. I was still home I landed at about like 20 to 8 or something like that, 7:30, 20 to 8. Grand again, straight through Dublin Airport, no bother. Got the air coach into town. And then I came straight out of town on the 49 bus. That bus I was referring to earlier. While I was waiting for the 49 bus, I was getting at because the air coach dropped me to O'Connell Street. Nobody cares about this stuff, but I'm telling you anyway. Dropped me to O'Connell Bridge, and then I got the 49 from outside Trinity. I was there about 7 minutes before the bus was due, standing there listening to my headphones. It's by Pearse Street guard station there, and there's two young people enjoying a lovely Saturday evening in Dublin City Centre on some Dublin bikes. They were stopped at the red light for the pedestrian crossing. The light was still red. The Garda van beeped as the two beeped. I don't know who they're beeping at or what for. It spooked the two cyclists. They kind of just knee-jerked, went forward a bit, thinking they were in the way or some shit. They just knee-jerk, hear a beep, you gotta go, ugh, because you shouldn't use horns for anything other than emergency purposes. Be that everyone who used their horn incorrectly. And because they rolled through, no pedestrians crossing at this point, but it was still a red light. They fucking pulled up in the Garda van beside them with the lights on and gives them an earful for going through the red lights. Like, they went through the light because you startled them with your fucking beeping. Assholes. Now, devil's advocate now. Whoa, sirens, ambulance. Woo! Acceptable loud behaviour. They need to be doing that. That's fine. I get it. It spooked me still, but that's fine. Genuine reasons. That's okay. Yesterday evening I was going into some classes that I was doing, and stopped at the junction when you come down from Christchurch. going towards the Liffey, going over to the north side. What's that junction there? You come over the brow of Christchurch, or through the arch, or under the arch even. Whatever that bridge is, that junction there. Something there, some of the lights, red lights, whatever, and like they're just gone red, they're not gone green. Texting away on my phone. Knock on the window. Garda, don't be on your phone. You didn't see us walking in front of the car. I could give you a penalty notice. So I was like, sorry. Look, he didn't bring it any further than that. Fair enough. I'm okay with that. Like, look, come over and give me a bollocking. I know I'm breaking the rules, but leniency as well at the same time. He was lenient. He didn't book me. He just gave me an ear bending. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with enforcement when it's done correctly. Sorry. Sounds like I was getting a bit fucking hot-headed and ranty there. I respect the Gardaí. Most of them are good people. So, yeah. I got into this. So because the flight was delayed as well, I did have a point in the airport. It wasn't a bad one. I got it from Wetherspoons. It wasn't terrible. Still £6 something. But better than the one, the travel lodge. Got home, do the flight home. I'm telling you stuff you don't need to know. That was my Adventures of Piston Heads annual service in Bicester. I'd highly recommend it. The iGo was cool. I like the iGo. I'm sure there's other stuff in the car world that's gone on, but I don't know. I said I didn't prepare anything for this. That was just my ramble about going to this size ramble. I was going to mention one or two things about Formula 1. Just to Red Bull, since I last did confirm they're keeping. Well, it's a strange one. They said their Prez will be in the car for some upcoming events where he has previous good history. So it sounds like if you translate that, it kind of comes across as like there's a couple of street tracks coming up. There's a Bentayga. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I just don't hate it either. What was I saying? Yeah, so like, he always goes well around Baku. He's won there a couple of times, I think. At least once, if not a couple of times. And then so there's Baku and then Singapore. And like, does he go well at Singapore? I don't know. Red Bulls themselves tend not to go well at Singapore. Well, they didn't last year anyway. Anyway, they haven't ruled out that they're definitely not getting rid of him. Well, I know, and there's been no official like statement or anything like that. I don't know. It's either to keep them on because they've no other better options, which they do technically, but that's the way they see it. It's strange. At this rate, they could fall down to third in the constructors, and God knows where Perez will finish in the fucking driver's standings. Not that they care about that part, but surely they should care about the constructors side of it. It's money. And prestige. There's no denying that 99.9% of the people in Formula 1 are in there for the fucking glory. Especially team principals and those who aren't actually driving the cars. Christian Horner and Toto Wolff being actively courting the media. Going off topic there. So it's that, and then also the other one is Carlos Sainz confirmed at Williams, which we kind of ran out of options. Look, everyone loves Williams, and you like to hope, even though like on paper they're having a worse season this season than they did last season. In the longer picture of things, there's a cool monkey bike, a brand new one, but it's kind of retro, funky cool. I'll take a picture of that. Click. What was I saying? Yeah, well look, maybe it could be an inspired move, but like you can't see Williams becoming a front running team in the near future. They might get punchy in the midfield, but yeah, look, Mercedes didn't seem to want him. Either that or he dragged his feet too long on it, and they moved on. Red Bull didn't seem to want him. Alpine probably did, but you can understand why he didn't go for that one. Apparently he didn't want to go for the Sauber Audi deal. Maybe things changed there as well, because actually there's another thing. Mattia Binotto, formerly of Ferrari, he's going to be team principal. He's taken over from, well, he's going to be team boss at Sauber Audi, replacing Andrew Seidel. And what was the other dude who got fucking sacked? Just gosh, know his name. Not sacked, stepping down. Did they announce a team principal for Sauber as well? Because Mattia's going to be the head honcho. Oh, it's your man, fucking Jonathan Wheatley from Red Bull. One of the key figureheads of the Red Bull since its inception. He's out of there. The slow crumble of Red Bull. Anyway, I'm literally up the road from the bank now. So I'm going to start shutting up. Because we're coming up near an hour as well. Of absolute drivel as always. I'm walking by what claims to be an AMG C-Class. It's a decent body kit wheel setup, but has an AMG badge. Rear brakes, no. Has like turbo. Do I look it up? I won't look it up. I'm going to assume it's not an AMG. Could be, but I'm going to assume it's not. Don't have anything else to say. Don't have any recommendations. Other than if you can find one, buy one of those Renault Scenic 4x4s. I think it was called the RX4, was it? So I just saw one in the UK. There's none for sale in the UK. There's none for sale in Ireland or there's horror, but God, they're cool. 4-wheel drive Scenic. Dare I say it, even cooler than a Panda 4x4 because it's even more obscure. And it's of its own as well. Like the new Panda 4x4 is... It's not cooler than the OG Panda 4x4, fair enough, but it's cooler than the more recent one. So get one of them. Music recommendations, was that a fucking music festival? There's lots of cool shit I saw. The National were incredible, as were the Prodigy, although they left stage kind of early. Who else did I see? James McMorrow was very impressive. Bunch of DJs. Look, I'm not really into electronic dance music, but when you're on a music festival and enjoying yourself, it is fun. Saw some German, very legendary DJ. He finished at like 3:30 in the morning on the Sunday. I can't remember his name, but he was pretty cool. But check out an Irish artist. She's from Donegal, a girl called Muireann Bradley. One of my mates was rambling on about her for ages. How he wanted to go see her, thought she was class. This Irish singer-songwriter, plays guitar, kind of folky blues stuff. And we just happened to start pissing rain on the Sunday, Saturday, the Sunday. I'm going to say it was the Sunday. And we pulled into one of the bars to grab a drink, and she happened to be playing at that bar just as we were there. So we stayed and watched that. So check her out, Muireann Bradley, if you want to check out some music. And then YouTube channel, check out your man Driver 61's channel, because I talked about him earlier. Right, I'll shut up now. Impromptu. If you have been listening, as always, I love you. And until next time, be safe, be well. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.